Now onto Suzuki's dual sport, we have two versions, the 650 and 1000. What we have on the 650 for adjustability is preload on the front forks, and again you need a big screwdriver so you do not mar up the adjuster. And then on the shock we have rebound, and we also have preload adjustment.
Honda Suzuki of Salt Lake has the Honda or Suzuki you've been looking for. You know you want it, come in and get it at Honda Suzuki of Salt Lake.
Now obviously this is a dual sport bike. We're going to have a little more suspension, so we're looking for a little larger sag number and maybe even some more free sag. Let it go. Okay. Barely any, 1/4 of an inch, so we're at 23 inches topped out. Rider on. So we're just over 1.5 inches, which is perfect because this bike's got a little more travel and is obviously built to be a bit more plush. So don't even touch it if you're in the 190 pound range as far as the shock goes. Onto the front. Now we're probably going to experience exactly as we did with all the other standards, with the seating position being far back. There's really not that much weight on the front, so the sag numbers between all three weights should be fairly similar. For Dave we have just over 5 inches, so obviously plenty of travel here, and again once he translates braking activity, the weight's going to move forward and start compressing the front end. So with this you'd want to put a zip tie on it, see how much travel you're using, and you need to get at least 2/3. If you can't get it, then use the preload to suit, and if you can't get it even manipulating the preload, then you're going to have to change springs. Now with Haley on the bike, obviously it's going to be a lot less sag, and we're just at 1.25 inches. So again, we can soften the shock up to make it 1.5 inches for the street. So it's nice to see with this particular bike, we can cater for almost a 60 pound weight range with the spring that is already in place on the shock just by manipulating the preload. Now obviously on the front end we should see something similar in a sag number, and it's exactly the same, even though she's a lot lighter, so you'd expect the front end to take more weight. So we're right at 5 inches in the front. Again, the zip tie will see how much travel's being used and then change the springs if you need to. All right, let's get Chris on the bike. Go ahead. Obviously it's going to drop quite a bit further. So we're at 2 inches, so between Dave's weight of 190 and Chris's of 240, we gain an extra 1/2 inch of sag. That's nice to know the shock spring can take that range of weight, but at 2 inches we're right on the soft end of the spectrum, and we'd have to probably crank in quite a bit of preload, so changing the shock spring on this bike if you're in this weight category is definitely a consideration. Now with the weight in the back being so far down, let's see how the sag in the front changes. And it's exactly the same at 5 inches. So no matter what the rider weight is, because of the seating position, the front end doesn't move and the sag doesn't change. So make sure you've got the zip tie on there so you can see how much travel you're actually using, and then you can assess if you need to change the fork springs.